It's Saturday morning at 9 a.m., and that means the next episode, this episode, of Over, an ADHD memoir in the making, is about to air. Here we go. So, what are we doing today? Well, I really wanted to work on some character creation this week. I've been, for a long time, making the symptoms of ADHD and the reactions to them uh, into individual characters to be able to tell the story more visually. And so this week I'm going to go through a few of the characters that I've created, and you're going to watch me create a new character, or at least one that I've contemplated but haven't really set down to paper a lot yet. And that is this. There's a symptom of ADHD called RSD, and I'm going to go into it in length when I'm working on this. So just it's called rejection sensitivity dysphoria. So it's something that a lot of ADHDers, particularly those of us that were undiagnosed in childhood, deal with on a daily basis. So I'll be sharing with you what that is, what it feels like, and why I made the choices I did in creating this particular character. So the exciting news I have to share with you is this, is that Graphic Medicine International in their website is going to be featuring Over, an ADHD memoir in the making, in their spotlight section of their homepage. And this couldn't come at a better time. It's launching on the 21st. That's the Tuesday coming up. So right now it's Saturday. In a few days, you'll be able to see the spotlight of the work that you've been watching process through. After that is the conference, annual conference of Graphic Medicine International at Johns Hopkins University in Baltimore, Maryland. I'm going. And I'm going to bring with me a whole bunch of stuff that's going to be able to promote Over and see where we can go and hopefully get some other people interested in the project. But Graphic Medicine International is really, really, I'm so grateful. They're super generous to put me on spotlight for this week upcoming right before the conference. It's more than I could have imagined. It's absolutely superb. So I'm going to release and record an episode for you. But while you're watching that episode next Saturday, I will be at the conference and I will have lots more for you. And we'll throw a special episode in somewhere in the middle of the next couple weeks, just going over what happened at the conference. So I'm super stoked. I'm super happy that you're all supporting and watching these videos. Let's have fun. Let's go ahead, buckle up. It's time for another session. Creating characters. And while I'm creating characters for this particular piece, the characters are my symptoms. So, one of the things that occurs with a lot of ADHDers is intrusive thoughts. And intrusive thoughts are usually not nice things. So, um, I Am Become Death is a chapter where I reveal that I have intrusive thoughts. And the intrusive thoughts are I thought to be like a grim reaper, but the more I think about it, the more I'm like, it has to be in today. So the grim reaper wears a hoodie when it comes to my stuff. So death in a hoodie. So I'm trying to figure that one out. I might do some work on that today. Where we left off on the last piece, there's this whole giant thought cloud. And I'm trying to figure out things that would fit into that thought cloud. So the beefaroni ends up being barfaroni, but I wanted to characterize it. Then we've got, of course, me as a little kid getting sick on SpaghettiOs. Sorry, those of you that have soft stomachs. Um, I didn't really mean for this to be throwing up in here, but I was reminded that when I was an infant, I actually threw up in my father's mouth um, after he was told, "Don't throw me up in the air," which he kept doing, and then supper came up. Um, I also thought about what does it look like when you are trying not to, and that face. And of course, we're talking about symptoms. So here's the imp. We've seen him already in all these iterations. I've got a kind of a bad version of him right here, just his face in the dark. I threw this back in there, trying to think of things that I need to put into. this memory or this dream sequence that I'm having in that piece. Um, and then I just needed a break. I needed to think about other stuff. So I started to think of one of the biggest symptoms when it comes to ADHD, and that's RSD. So rejection sensitivity dysphoria. And I used to really literally beat myself up over if I had done something that I thought would make somebody upset with me and make them quote unquote hate me, which is where we ended up with the last um, talking portion of the scene before this one, where I start to actually look at my RSD. So I started doing some studies of what it looks like when I'm panicked or paranoid, and I just couldn't help thinking about Monty Python and the Holy Grail and the monks marching with big planks of wood and slapping themselves in the head while they were chanting. And so I just thought, you know what? That actually works really, really well for designing a self-effacing, um, you know, kind of like, and since I was raised Roman Catholic, it fits even better. This medieval practice of self-flagellation, but instead of um, whipping yourself in the back with something, um, this Python turned it into something even more ludicrous with slamming your face into a board. So I want to kind of explore that today a little bit. I'm thinking of how I want to do this. And I'm going to break out my blue pencil because I think I want to actually throw some ink into it afterward. So I'll scan it on black and white, and the ink, the non-photo blue will not show up. So I kind of have to start with my body position here. I want to be sort of looking down. All right, so that actually, I think that works pretty good as a sketch at this point. Kind of like trying to figure out where this all is laying together and how that all puts itself. I'm gonna work on a couple of other things in here. Gonna try to get some other expressions in. Maybe work a little bit on the shadows, et cetera, et cetera. But again, this is kind of the sketch. I don't want to work it too far up because I know that I'm going to put it on my iPad and I'm going to really kind of work into it there and really play with it. But I do want to add a couple more details just so that I remember where things are and what I want to see happen. All right, well, here he is, our thwapping monk. Really was working on a lot of different things afterward, pencil sketches all around, trying to figure out what are some of the key components that I want to infer with this. Really thinking about making the monk uncomfortable, the wood grain and just planks as as shoes. Actually giving him some lines over here. Oh no, what did I just say? Now they're gonna hate me. Won't be my friend anymore. I'll be all alone forever. So those are the sorts of things, like up here where it says, I must have deserved this as he thwacks himself in the face. Um, those are the sorts of things that come with RSD. And this is, of course, a cartoon version of it. But when the thoughts go straight to, I did something wrong, when somebody's just facial expression changes minorly, or they say something and it's in a tone that an ADHD person, since we're really empathetic and we're really observant, all those little details that happen in conversation are things that we take personally first before we try to Just say, oh, well, maybe they were having a bad day or whatever. It doesn't matter. We will take all of those little idiosyncrasies and tiny little specks of information and blow them out of proportion in our heads because that's what RSD does. And when you're told most of your life you're wrong, you are overreacting, you are being overdramatic, you're too oversensitive, uh, that's what happens. You try to create mechanisms where you're not doing that, and so you internalize, and that's where RSD comes from. Uh, you're internalizing perceived emotions from other people. You're projecting onto them what you think they think of you, and of course, it's going to be they think the worst of you. That's where this particular thing comes in. And although it's not something funny or to be treated lightly, this is the way my head works. That this is what I think of in that circumstance. So have a great week, and I will see you next week. I'll be in Baltimore, but there'll still be something for you to watch.